Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Today, Hycroft Mining reported their Q1 2025 earnings. This is going to be a very quick video. I'm going to try and do it balanced, talk about the positives for those of you that are invested and the risks for those of you who are invested and maybe want to know what are the risks as we finish out 2025. Let's get right into the video. As we get started, just to make sure we're all on the same page, I do not have any position in Hycroft Mining. And people always say, well, then why are you covering it? Because I think you guys deserve a unbiased perspective on what is going on with Hycroft. And, you know, maybe one day I'll find a point where I'm interested and willing to buy in. But that day is not today. So let's move on and talk about their Q1 and what is on tap for 2025. Hycroft has in their Q2 presentation a roadmap, and we are nearing the end of the road here, waiting on that technical report with economics, something I've been talking to you guys about for 2 years, a technical report that the company will hopefully publish by the end of this year that lets us know, based on everything that they need to do to get back into mining, the current price of gold and silver. Is the mine economically viable? And that also includes any new equipment and buildings they would need to construct to start up the milling operation. After that report, if it is economically a go, then you have the last bullet point here, construction of the milling plant. Yes, they have equipment and buildings on location at Hycroft, but not the new milling operation. That is going to be new build, and that's going to take some time. Remember, Adam Aaron told us when AMC invested in Hycroft that it would be a 5 to 7 year investment. And I would tell you that you should probably plan on that timeline. And if you're expecting any return on Hycroft prior to that, then you have not been paying attention to what management of AMC told you in terms of when Hycroft might potentially show a return. Could it be sooner than that? I sure hope so. But I think 5 to 7 years from the time AMC invested their money is a reasonable expectation for your timeline. This chart here is a stock price chart showing the typical life cycle of a junior miner. Back when AMC invested and Eric Sprott coughed up a little bit more money, we hit this peak here back in 2023. This was the initial assessment time, and speculation, as it says, overshoots results. Since then, the price has been on a decline. This is a very common chart for all junior miners. You have the initial speculation, high excitement, then people realize, oh, this is going to take a long time, and the price kind of gets worn down, and the companies need to raise money to get through this exploration phase. So with dilution and whatever debt they need to take on, price gets ground down. So we're kind of in this valley right about here. The project definition, technical and economic studies will define project details as we exit that phase. And if it is positive news, then you go up into hopefully an operating mine and the price of the stock goes back up. Is Hycroft going to follow the second half of this chart? I'm going to cross my fingers and hope so, but I can't tell you just yet because I need to see that study with the economics. Other positives about Hycroft are the ore body that is under the ground. That is not a debatable issue. They have a lot of gold and silver resources. It's just a matter of getting enough exploration done to finish the technical report and let everybody know, is this an economically viable mine or not? About 2 weeks ago, there was a great interview, one of the best I've seen from Hycroft, featuring Alex Davidson, the VP of Exploration at Hycroft, and he got into a lot of geological and technical stuff, which I don't really think we've heard before, and I appreciate Mr. Davidson's time. I listened into that conference call as it was going on, and I think if you haven't listened to it and you're invested in or thinking about investing in Hycroft, it might be a good video for you to go back and watch. I will put a link to this video down in the video description. Moving over to the financial statements to wrap this up and let you know about a couple of things that stood out to me here. Just the basics, first of all. The company had no operating income, no surprise. They're not actively mining. And the net loss for the quarter was $11.7 million or negative 47 cents per share. Cash and cash equivalents left on the balance sheet, $39.6 million. That is about $10 million less than just 3 months ago. So $10 million cash burned over the last 90 days. Total assets, $129 million. Total liabilities, $173 million. So we are a little bit upside down here on the balance sheet. Although when I look at working capital, current assets, $44 million. Current liabilities, $2.7 million. Not a high red flag here on short-term liquidity. Working capital is fine. But I want to circle back before we finish up about this $39 million left on the balance sheet. If we look at Hycroft's typical annual operating cash burn on the cash flow statement, it has been $34, $37, $35, $41 million. Let's just say an average of $35 million a year in operating cash burn. And recall that I just said they have $39 million left. The reason that I think you should not lose focus on that remaining cash balance is not because I want to scare you, but because there are certain things in this 10Q and the 10K 3 months ago that the company is letting you know in these documents. And a lot of people are not talking about this stuff. And I think as an investor, you should be reading these documents. I shouldn't have to make these videos and point this stuff out to you, but you know, it's my lot in life to want to read a bunch of documents and trying to help you guys out. Hycroft has a $15 million requirement in their unrestricted cash as part of one of their debt covenants, and a working capital requirement of $10 million. Working capital is not an issue, but you can see where I'm going with this. If they've been burning $30, $35, $40 million a year in operating cash and they have $39 million left with a minimum requirement of $15 million, there is potential for a cash shortfall on Hycroft's balance sheet. Because of that, the company is disclosing to you a going concern warning, raising substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. Does that mean that they're going to run out of cash and go bankrupt next quarter? No, it does not. But it does mean that they're probably going to need to raise some additional amount of money to ensure that they have adequate liquidity through the next 12 months. To that end, the company also reminds you that they have an open ATM program where they have the ability to raise up to $97.5 million should they need to sell some shares into the open market to generate cash or balance sheet liquidity. Gold and silver prices sitting near all-time highs certainly helps Hycroft, and it will assist them somewhat in the economics when they publish their technical report, although they will have to take some average of the last several years, not just the latest spot price of gold and silver. If I am not mistaken, Hycroft does have additional plans here in 2025 to get additional drilling and exploration done. And if you haven't heard, they also have a new leach pad completed and ready to go. That is this photo in the bottom right-hand corner. And they are exploring the possibility of doing some mining off the top of the mine and dropping that on the leach pad to extract some gold and silver. That would be for any oxide ore that Hycroft might have access to. There is this other ore type, a sulfide ore, that they are looking at drilling into, and that is the ore that they're going to need to build the new milling plant for. So, you know, at least if they have a leach pad going, they could get some oxide ore and generate some cash off of that. It is something that they're looking into, but I don't have any definitive dates for you or any degree of certainty that they will move forward with that. But I think if you look at the fact that they constructed the leach pad, you could assume that there is a reasonably high probability that they are seriously considering pulling off some more oxide ore and starting up leach operations while they wait the year or two, whatever it takes, for construction of a milling plant to take care of the sulfide ore down the road. I do not have any plans to buy a Hycroft myself anytime soon, although, you know, if something happens where the chart shows me a point that looks like it might be a good entry, maybe I'll come back and let you guys know that I bought some. I don't have any words of wisdom for you about what you should do with any Hycroft investment. Do your own DD, make your own decision. But please go through, watch Alex's video, Mr. Davidson, the VP of Exploration. Read the Hycroft corporate presentation on their website and read through that entire 10Q. Make sure you understand it. And if you don't, go hire a professional to help you. I'm not a professional, but if you drop some questions down below, I'm happy to do my best to answer them to the best of my knowledge. I am Tony Denaro. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.